We do aim for it. The wording of that was so messed up. I'm not even sure. Wow. Sam loses his mind. Part 2. Hey, here's something happy we can talk about. How about all that free advertising for our show on the Lincoln broadcast this weekend? How nice was that?
Yeah, I'm not sure really what to make of that. It was quite a thing.
It kind of takes you back when you're not expecting. You're just halfway paying attention. You hear something in the background. You're like, hey, that was us.
But we have the Thunderstruck interview, which the clip from the end of the episode last week that I had played, their interview with Justin Varner. I ended up hearing that interview like 5 times last week. It was.
Oh, you must have missed about 4 of them then.
Yeah. But no, both games during the second intermission, they played like the second half of that interview where BA from Thunderstruck brings us up and throws a couple jabs our way. I was trying to think of some retorts. Unfortunately, I was bombarded with Thunderstruck ads and Gene Cotter billet ads during those broadcasts. So I was a little distracted, wasn't able to come up with any type of reaction to those comments, even though I heard them 4 or 5 times. But the funniest part was I actually got a text message be like, are these guys like talking crap on you? Like, what is going on here? Again, just for the record, everybody, as far as between the Dump and Chase podcast and Thunderstruck, we're all friends. It's all good. As always, I'm glad they can keep mentioning us to keep themselves relevant. So always makes me feel good.
Yeah. I mean, we can take the high ground. We can afford that.
Yeah.
Because we don't pay for other stuff.
And that's how we get back at them. All right. So coming up in this episode, of course, we'll have a recap of the Phantoms 2 games in Lincoln. Something a little fun and honestly is just always comedy gold. We will have post-game comments from Lincoln head coach and Youngstown native Rocky Russo after the game on Friday. Of course, this week's edition of 4 Points. And we will be looking ahead to the weekend split with the Phantoms traveling to Madison and Chicago. So with that, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we will look back at the Phantoms 2-game trip to Lincoln. So keep it right here with the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
Catch all of the spring and summer action of Cleveland Cobras minor league football on Western Reserve Radio. Follow the Cobras as they compete against teams from around the region in pursuit of a Tri-Point Football League championship. And if you're looking to continue your football career after high school, college, or even the pros, or to be part of the Cobras staff, go to Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football. Or contact owner Jesse Caldwell at 330-416-3442. Be a part of the excitement of Cleveland Cobras football.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Mill Creek Golf Course is the Valley's leader for golfing fun with a practice range, short game area, and hole 55 bar and grill all on site. Mill Creek Golf Course features a friendly PGA professional staff available for instruction, along with 36 challenging holes designed by the legendary Donald Ross. Don't forget family fun night golf on Fridays and Saturdays for just $25. For details and tee times, call 330-740-7112 or go online to millcreekmetroparks.org.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Sandrock Concrete specializes in all types of concrete, driveways, sidewalks, basements, and garages. We also do stamp-colored concrete in many different designs. We do interior and exterior stonework, regular brick and block work. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured. Call Jerry Sandrock at 330-506-0013 for an estimate. Also find them on Facebook at Sandrock Concrete LLC. Sandrock Concrete, where you deal with the owner all the time.
This is Voice of the Phantoms and friend of the show, Matt Lipsack, and you are listening to the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
We're back with the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio. So this past weekend, the Phantoms taken their first long road trip of the season out to Lincoln, Nebraska to take on the Lincoln Stars for games on Friday and Saturday. The game on Friday we'll get started with here. That was a 3-0 win for the Phantoms. And speaking of long bus trips, did it almost feel like maybe that first period, just maybe a little bit of bus legs, as this was the longest trip this team had taken so far this season?
Oh, absolutely. I think the first 5 minutes, we had a hard time getting the puck out of our end. I think we were fortunate a couple of times. Bardo made some pretty good saves in that first period, kept us going. And once we got our legs underneath of us, it was all systems go from that. But I think you run on the bus legs that first period.
Still with us there?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. No, I was typing, somebody messaged me and I had to get back to him. Sorry.
His name is Furry Dan. He's sitting right here.
Okay.
I don't know how you found that video.
I wasn't happy I had to pay $19.99 for it, but I found it.
Well, my family can eat this weekend. Thank you.
Well, at least the ones that you like. Food's getting expensive. So getting into the second period, that's where things got a lot more interesting in this game. Starting out, Adam Patilla going to the penalty box, a 4-minute double minor for high sticking, comes out of the box, and that was Lincoln was on the power play. It was a 5-on-3. Patilla came out of the box, and the defenseman at the point throws a pass, not to the other point, but to almost center ice.
Perfect onto Patilla's stick.
Yeah, perfect pass onto the tape of Adam Patilla, who was standing at center ice, who comes out of the box, gets this pass from the Lincoln defense, and takes it the other way for the Phantoms' first goal of the game. And then the Phantoms' next goal. This was something I really liked. Phantoms were on the power play. The power play had expired, and the Phantoms were able not only to keep possession of the puck, but also to kind of keep that rotation going, keep those swing passes going. Ends up with another, one of Justin's favorites so far this season, another shot from the point. Jack Wilson picking up the goal there just 14 seconds after the power play expired. But yeah, just right there, again, like the power play was over, but the Phantoms were still cycling the puck as if they were on the power play. Lincoln could not get possession, and it led, and they just kept pressing and pressing, and it led to a goal.
I swear you could hear a sound when that puck hit the back of the net from Wilson. I think it hit something because the sound it made was pretty cool. That screen that Ronaldo put in front of that too really allowed that lane to open up for Wilson to put that puck in.
And then as far as the Phantoms' third goal in this period, that was Breckin Smith picking up his first USHL goal. Just a nice little feed from Stratty. The Phantoms coming in on a 3-on-2 break. Stratty taking the puck up the middle and then kind of shading over to the left-hand side, kind of opened up some space for Breckin Smith coming down the right wing. Got that pass over to him, and, Breckin snipes it in again. First USHL goal. Just a nice little transition play there coming into the offensive zone.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, nice transition play. Stratty, defenseman jumping up on the play. So, I mean, defensemen are factoring in on a lot of our goals, whether it's from the point or not.
Stratty being able to keep that play on side when he got that puck was the key to that goal happening.
Yeah.
Going into the third period, no scoring in the third period. Started getting a little chippy, kind of a precursor to what ended up happening on Saturday. I commend Youngstown for the most part. They just kind of stayed away from it. But when it was all said and done, the Phantoms end up getting the 3-0 win. Owen Bartoskevich stopping all 26 shots he faced for his second shutout of the season in his fourth game, improving his record to 3-1 with a .75 goals against average and a .972 save percentage. Now, here's the fun part. If any of you are not familiar with Rocky Russo, Youngstown native, spend a lot of time with the Phantoms youth program, longtime Youngstown native, is in fact the head coach of the Lincoln Stars. When a game doesn't go so well for Lincoln, his post-game interviews can sometimes be comedy gold, and this time he did not disappoint.
No, some harsh words from Rocky. I think he got his team kind of fired up for the next game, but yeah, play it.
Yeah. So this first clip was when he was asked about what the conversation was like with the team in the locker room after the game, and this is what he said.
That I'm going to have to maybe talk to our general manager about trading a couple players.
The good little bit of holding it in there. Sounded like he was on the verge of dropping the F-bomb there, but was able to hold himself back.
Yeah.
After that, he was asked about, as far as just kind of the quick turnaround, having another game with Youngstown the next day, and what that was going to look like from a team perspective. And Rocky had this to say.
Yeah. And I'm going to have to give some new guys some opportunities. There's a lot of guys down in that locker room that have played a lot of hockey in the USHL that aren't delivering. And so there's going to be some other guys that are going to get some chances to do that.
So
almost like a therapy session.
Rocky never disappoints. I had actually reached out to a member of the Phantoms organization, kind of get their reaction on those comments. Anytime you hear a coach from an opposing team say something like that, you almost wonder if it was our coach that said it, how would our guys react to it? So, I reached out to a member of the Phantoms organization with that clip and kind of asked for their reaction. The answer I got back was they laughed, and then they said these guys are going to be fired up to start tomorrow night.
They're not wrong. I mean, Rocky is highly regarded around Youngstown hockey circles.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it definitely seemed to motivate the team.
And then as far as Lincoln trying to start a few scraps there towards the end of the game, just a quick little soundbite here. I think it's something a lot of the Western Conference should heed going forward. This is actually some very sound advice from Rocky Russo.
There's physicality from a fighting perspective, and then there's a identity of physicality.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah, I mean, take that for what you want, but you can look at how things go out in the West and see what he means.
Yeah.
I think those comments that he makes, I think they were half truth and half to motivate the team. And I think actually he did a very good job. I think he accomplished his goal, at least in the very next game. Lincoln came out much better.
Oh, no, there's no doubt about that. It's just in the moment of listening to some of these interviews, it's just comedy gold. for everybody who is not in the Lincoln locker room, I guess I should add to that.
Especially for anyone who is not the guy interviewing him. Joel's a nice guy.
Poor Joel.
Yeah, looked a little unsure how to go on some of that if you've watched the video.
All right. So what did all this amount to as far as the Saturday game? Well, that amounted to as far as the Saturday game. Well, that amounted to a 4-1 win for Lincoln. Youngstown taking the loss in game 2 of this series. Again, kind of following the same pattern as the game on Friday. No score in the first period. Something that kind of bothered me a little bit, Phantoms 3 power plays in the first 10 minutes just didn't seem to capitalize on them. Well, didn't seem to. They didn't capitalize on them.
Yeah, obviously something that's been plaguing us for a while, and I think it reared its ugly head here.
I think that was, Uncle Mo, the momentum. I think it shifted when we didn't score on that 5-on-3. We had a lot of good opportunities. I feel like we had some great looks on goal. Just couldn't get the puck in. And I think when Lincoln cleared off that 5-on-3, I think the momentum shifted greatly in their favor.
Yeah.
Going into the second period, again, flip the script. Lincoln picking up 3 goals in a span of 6 minutes and 34 seconds, taking the 3-0 lead into the third period. Turns out the second period would probably end up being the most tame. Things kind of just completely went by the wayside in the third period. The one high point, well, a couple high points, depending on how you look at it. Brecken Smith, who picked up his first USHL goal the night before, gets his second goal of the weekend. So, have a weekend, Brecken Smith. But then not long after that, Blake Montgomery scores his second of the game for Lincoln, putting Lincoln up 4-1. And that would end up being the final score. Colin Wynn stopping 31 of 35 in the loss, dropping his record to 1-2 on the season with a 3.67 goals against average and an .866 save percentage. Although I will contest that Colin Wynn ended up having the hit of the weekend there in the third period of the game on Saturday.
He absolutely did. And I was wondering if the goalers were going to give it a go as well. I was pretty cool. I feel like that the way the game was going, you felt like something was coming because it was getting very chippy. There was a lot of players trying to engage each other. And when Stratty got dumped, it was like Colin was waiting for that moment the whole entire game, because I don't even think a second had happened when he laid that hit off for Kodich.
Yeah, you had this bat, and if you watch the video, probably a good 15 seconds before all that took place, you just had this absolute battle going on in front of the net between Kodich and Kodich, however you say it, between him and Andrew Strathman in front of the net. Kodich goes down and then gets back up and basically puts the cross check right into the numbers of Strathman from behind, knocking him to the ice. And then there's just kind of like a second and a half of nothing. And then Colin Wynn just reaches out and does the exact same thing to him and just drops him. Leads to this whole melee. But the funny thing is, when it's all said and done, Colin Wynn was not called for a penalty.
Sometimes the team can, even though they lost the game, sometimes the team can come together on certain plays. And I think that shows that this team has each other's backs in any moment out there. And as a fan, obviously, I would rather see them win, but it was pretty cool to see those players have each other.
I would hope, if anything, that the team looks at what Colin Wynn did standing up for Andrew Strathman, and hopefully in the future thinks, hey, maybe we should start playing a little better defense in front of him in the future.
Well said.
I mean, I think our defense has been better than good this season. I think once they kind of get some games in and hit their stride and get that chemistry more and more, this is going to be a defense that rivals last year's. It's just been this theme through last year and this year. For some reason, there's this drop off in defensive energy when Colin Wynn's in net.
Yeah.
We are not the only ones saying that either.
Nope.
2 breakaways and a 2-on-1. Not a whole lot he could do with that.
Yeah. So I'm hoping maybe this will lead to maybe a little bit more of an effort in front of him. But the good news out of all of this, when it was all said and done, Phantoms still keeping the streak alive through their first however many games they play. 6 games this season? 40 for 40 on, 7 games this season, 40 for 40 on the penalty kill.
That's a lot of penalties.
Yeah, I'd like to not take that many, but we're still 100%. Fargo is still 100%, but they've taken far less calls.
Yes, they've killed off 12. They've killed off 12 penalties for their 100%. We've killed off 40 for our 100%. So
wait, we're in the East and they're in the West?
I know. Just must be a lot more 10-minute misconducts out there.
Yeah.
Especially Omaha. Dear God.
We won't even go into that.
No, that's for the Lincoln guys to talk about them. All right. So with that, we're going to take another break. This week's edition of 4 Points is coming up with the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
W&M Quality Roofing, LLC is an insured and bonded Mahoning Valley family-owned roofing business. At W&M, we treat your roof and home as if it's our very own. Give us a call at 330-647-0610 for a free estimate. Did you get damage from the latest storm? We also offer financing and specialists for insurance claims. For professional and efficient service, call W&M Quality Roofing at 330-647-0610.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Molucc Live is your home for high school sports. We have all the scores on our social media platforms throughout the games. Enjoy our timely updates from local area schools year-round. You won't get the consistency and reliability from anyone else. Our number one priority is servicing our fans and getting them live news as it's happening. Follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Molucc_live. And remember, our fans come first.
Lena's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard, or call 234-254-8532.
The Storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go. Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What? Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this. To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. Cool. Very cool. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time. The whole experience was fine. If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Everett Fitzhugh, the radio voice of the NHL Seattle Kraken. And when I want to catch up with Youngstown sports, I tune in to Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Welcome back to the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio. So for listeners new and old, 4 Points is where we break down the previous weekend into 4 categories. What we liked, what we didn't like, favorite moment, and the Dump and Chase podcast 3 stars of the week. So this week I will be playing the part of moderator, and Dan, you are up first with what you liked.
What I liked that our penalty kill was still flawless. We're 40 out of 40. We've committed a lot of penalties. And I guess if you're going to commit to the amount we have, you better make damn sure you're going to kill them off. And I think we've done a great job. We kind of put that wedge in front of the net. We do a good job of denying the puck through. And I think I said after the first 2 games of the season, I feel like sometimes we play better defense 4-on-5 than we do 5-on-5 sometimes.
Justin, what tickled your fancy this week?
Another shutout for Bardo. I mean, going back to the last game he played in a Phantoms uniform, he's put up 3 shutouts in 5 games, 6 games?
Last 5. Yeah, his last 5 played for the
last
Phantoms.
5 games, yeah. So, I mean, that's just stellar. I mean, and especially we've been blessed with some good goaltending in the past couple of years, and I'm really happy to see him step it up here.
All right, Dan, what's got knots in your fur this weekend?
You're really just milking us for everything.
You really want to go with a milking joke right now?
Yeah, okay. And I didn't like, Sam. Now you asked me that.
What's that, Dan?
All right. The inconsistent play, I feel like I'm nitpicking a little bit. But I feel like the inconsistent play is leading to a lot of the penalties we're taking as well. Sometimes when we're playing, it's all cylinders go very well. But I feel like once we get like a little bit of a downturn in our play, I feel like it's kind of like a snowball effect where it takes us a little while to get out of it. But the first period of the Friday game took us a whole period to get into it, and then Saturday I feel like that was the opposite of that. So it's just inconsistent play, but I think that's due to a younger team like we have.
Yeah, and it's that's something that we hope will pick up going down the season. But looking at last season, it's to be expected.
All right, Justin, what do you got for what you didn't like?
I think we've mentioned this already, but
possibly because I didn't read far enough ahead to see what you listed for this. So my bad.
Possibly because I probably changed it while we were talking. Anyway, we just seem to fall apart sometimes in front of Colin Wynn, and some of these goals are definitely not his fault. Kind of hung out to dry at times. We've got to stop that.
All right, Dan, what do you got for your favorite moment?
This one was easy for me. It was when Colin Wynn, had Stratty's back during that play with 3 minutes left in the third period of that Saturday game. Didn't hesitate at all. Stratty was in that battle with the player from Lincoln. And as soon as Stratty took that check to the back, Wynn had his back, and he went over and, I think he went and grabbed a hold of somebody, bear hugged somebody too right after that. Like I said, I thought maybe they were going to go. Both goalies were going to go, but it was good to see Wynn having his defense's back.
And it was kind of amazing in the way, because our interactions over the last couple of seasons, you kind of get this very lighthearted Colin Wynn. Not to say he's not serious, come game time, but we're just kind of seeing this just lighthearted, passive, funny Colin Wynn. So, I mean, something pissed him off there. I think hopefully going forward, people learn not to do it again, because he was ready to throw mitts.
Yeah, and hopefully, he's willing to stick up for his teammates. Maybe they'll play a little harder in front of him.
All right, Justin, what do you got for favorite moment?
I think just playing Lincoln for the first time since we've had this relationship with the Thunderstruck podcast.
Who are they?
Yeah.
Oh, the guys from the commercials. Yeah, those guys.
Yeah.
Those guys. Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah. I mean, we have fun with the back and forth, and I think now head to head since they've been around, we're 1-for-1 or 1-1.
Yep.
Going forward, I'm kind of interesting to see where this will go.
All right, it is now time for the Dump and Chase podcast 3 stars of the week. We did not decide what order we were going to do this in with who's doing what, so I'm just going to get it started while you guys figure out what you want to do. The 3rd star of the week, that goes to Adam Matilla. A goal and an assist this weekend. Of course, the shorthanded goal on Friday in Justin's favorite stat right now. The Phantoms have now scored more shorthanded goals this season than they've allowed power play goals.
On that one play.
All All right, somebody jump in, take number 2.
Our second star of the week is goaltender Owen Bartostevich. He's leading the league in goals against average, his save percentage, and shutouts. And he's playing. He's standing on his head in net sometimes. He's keeping us in games and giving us momentum and stuff like that. And he's really doing a nice job in that for us.
All right, first star of the week, Brecken Smith, 2 goals, his first 2. I mean, the one on Saturday didn't win us the game or really get us back in, but getting us a little momentum. And obviously he's got to be quite happy to get on the score sheet here 2 games in a row.
Yeah, you just kind of hope that it's one of those like open the floodgate moments for him. Finally gets that first one, 6 games into the season, and then only takes him, the next night to pick up the second one. So again, yeah, hopefully opening up the floodgates there.
So, yeah.
All right, so that'll do it for this week's edition of 4 Points. The weekend preview is on deck and coming up after this short break, so stick around. You're listening to the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
Whether you are a professional football champion or a fantasy football champion, Martusio Chiropractic is the place to recover from all your sports injuries. Proudly serving Trumbull County, Martusio Chiropractic is located at 369 Niles Cortland Road in Warren. Martusio Chiropractic accepts most insurance plans, now accepting new patients and offering some same-day appointments. For more information or to make an appointment, call Martusio Chiropractic at 330-856-9595.
Mill Creek Golf Course has been the Valley's leader for golfing fun since 1928. It features 36 challenging holes designed by the legendary Donald Ross and was voted a top 30 municipal facility by Golf Week in 2012. The Mill Creek Golf Shop is a certified Callaway Golf custom fitting center and it is stocked with your favorite golf apparel and accessories. Mill Creek Golf Course is now booking tee times for this year's golf season. Please call us at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops. The rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day, making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Experience nature's bounty with Creation's Backyard. Elevate your health with the most nutrient-dense foods on earth. From farm to table, sustainably cultivated with care. Grown locally in Niles, Ohio with no chemicals or synthetics ever. Unlock your culinary creativity with Creation Backyard Microgreens. Convenient local delivery and pickup options available. Order now at creationsbackyard.com or call 330-282-7208.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm going to do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency. Who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
This is Voice of the Phantoms and friend of the show, Matt Lipsack, and you are listening to the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
And we're back with the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio. And before we look at what the Phantoms have in store for the weekend, how about we take a look at the rest of the Eastern Conference coming up? Starting on Friday, the Muskegon Lumberjacks will be traveling to Plymouth to take on the NTDP U17s. Fargo will be making the trip down to Green Bay for a two-game set there with the Gamblers. Dubuque will be traveling to Omaha, and Des Moines will be traveling to Cedar Rapids. And then on Saturday, Cedar Rapids and Des Moines will be flipping locations, with Cedar Rapids traveling out to Des Moines. Again, the second game of the series between Fargo and Green Bay. Dubuque will be taken off from Omaha. They will be traveling out to Kearney, Nebraska to take on the Tri-City Storm. And the U17s in Muskegon will be themselves flipping locations for that game. So that leads us to Youngstown's weekend, starting off on Friday with the Madison Capitals. This game taking place up at the Bob Suter Ice Arena, or whatever it's called now. Coming into this weekend, Madison second in the Eastern Conference with a record of 5-1-1 and 11 points. Madison splitting last weekend with Muskegon, winning 4-1 on Friday, then losing 5-2 on Saturday. And just to throw this out for something to fill this in with, Youngstown 22-17-3-1 all-time versus Madison. And surprisingly enough, when the games are played in Madison, Youngstown is 14-6-2. So as far as history is concerned, right there, looks good for the Phantoms as far as this game. But Madison, 2 years ago, making a run to the Clark Cup Finals, completely falling off this past year, doing some rebuilding, and off to a hot start this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different for Madison this year. I don't know. I think that might work well for us because we haven't had the best luck in the past couple seasons with them. Really interested to see how we match up.
Yeah, we'll get to see a familiar face with Big Game Rozzy. Get to see Jake Rozzy for the first time in a Capitals uniform in person.
Yeah, always wish the best for Jake Rozzy. But of course, in this one game, we hope he regresses a little bit.
But like we've never been burnt before by players we've traded away.
We're not saying his name, so don't even bring it up.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to.
There are some of you who know right now. There are some of you listening right now that know exactly who we were talking about and why we are not saying his name out loud either now or ever again. But so then moving on to the Saturday game, Youngstown will be traveling from Madison to Chicago to take on the Steel. Of course, these two teams played just here a couple weeks ago on October 6th, Youngstown winning that game 5-3. Again, empty net vanity goal, down 3 goals, the end of the game. We talked about all that in the last episode or the one before it. I can't remember. Chicago right now, last in the Eastern Conference, coming in with a record of 1 win and 6 losses, only 2 points. Chicago last weekend, this is kind of odd. It'll actually be 2 weekends in a row that Chicago's only playing 1 game in the weekend. Last weekend, only the 1 game on Friday, losing that game 5-2 to Waterloo. Right now, after winning the opening game of the Fall Classic in overtime, Chicago is on a 6-game losing streak. And this is something we've kind of brought up before, and it's gotten even worse as time's gone on. Chicago now through 7 games this season, their shot differential, they are at -128.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, it's always kind of been a thing where Chicago will get outshot in a game. It's been that way for the last couple seasons. Never like this.
Yeah, and they've always been able to, capitalize on the chances when they get them. And like you've said before, they are definitely not this year.
All right. So, the Phantoms splitting the weekend with Lincoln, still sitting above 500 here in October, which, again, love to see it. So splitting this last weekend with Lincoln, Madison suffering its first regulation loss to Muskegon this past weekend. Gonna make for an interesting game. Both of these teams, good starts to the season, both coming off of losses that they were a little more lopsided than they should have been, you would think. So yeah, just your thoughts on, Youngstown and Madison coming into this game, both coming off of pretty handy losses there.
I'm wondering if travel will be a factor, but yeah, it's the first time we're really going to see them this year. They are rebuilding again. This might be, I think, the best start they've ever had. So again, I'm just really curious to see how this matchup goes.
Yeah, and this year, you flipped the script. Last year, Madison was struggling the whole entire year, and Chicago was a wagon for a while. Now it's opposite going this year. Madison seems, I watched a little bit of them play. I'll be glad to watch a full game. I think we do match up well against them, though. I think a lot of what makes them a good team is what makes us a good team as well. So that'll be a real good game to see early on. I also want to see how Chicago's going to come out, being that we already beat them pretty handily the first time we played them. See what they kind of throw at us the second time around here.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago is always interesting. This is the first time in a long time it's interesting for like a whole different reason. You would have to think at 1-6, this is going to be a desperate team coming into this game. This is their only game this weekend.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Is they're going to be hungry to prove something. Maybe not even get a win, but they're going to be an angry team, I think. And that's something you have to watch for.
I think they might be a few losses away from shipping some players off to Omaha. I don't know.
Oh, you mean Ohama? That was the bane of my existence. Was I could have gone full in on the Ohama jokes. Of course, if anybody didn't catch it, a social media post about Phantoms forward Drew De La Sala being traded to the Omaha Lancers for a couple of draft picks. Somebody who would put in it, everybody makes mistakes. It happens. They instead of Omaha, they had put Ohama. I would have loved to have pointed out this mistake, but I was the one that said it was Colin Wynn that got trucked the week before, not Owen Bartoskevich. So I was absolutely in no position whatsoever to mock anybody else for their mistakes, no matter how fun and lighthearted it might have been. If you actually go on Instagram, there was a very nice little back and forth between Youngstown and Omaha as far as that whole mistake. So everybody took it in good humor and everybody took it in stride. But of course, it had to be the week that I made the faux pas that I made, that I was kind of excluded from commenting on it.
Yeah, it was cut quick enough. I mean, we could have got a jab in or two, but it's early in the season.
It's still preseason for some of us. We're hoping by January we'll be in regular season form.
Fingers crossed.
And by that I mean January of 2025. All right, so as far as these games, these are both taking place in the Central Time Zone. The game on Friday at Madison, that will be an 8:05 puck drop. That is local time here in the Youngstown area. And then the game on Saturday in Chicago, that will be a 7:05 puck drop, again, local time here in the Youngstown area. These games will be available on Flow Sports. Again, as always, I highly recommend for the Chicago game to find your mute button and find it quickly.
Or, just go with the C and say.
The bull says. The premium diesel says, I don't know, because what is premium diesel?
Is that your furry name?
That's premium diesel.
Yeah.
I think it's a strain of weed.
You are right on that.
All right, so now that we've come down to the end of the episode and this has gone completely off the rails, I think as far as mistakes, whether forced or unforced, furry jokes and everything else. I think we've flogged this Molly long enough. We'll be back after one last break to wrap up this episode and look ahead to next week's show. So keep it here one more time with the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time. The whole experience was fine. If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Shining Stars Dance and Baton in Niles, Ohio is home to state, regional, national, and international world champions. They offer a wide variety of classes for ages 2.5 and up for boys and girls. Celebrating over 31 years in business, the excellent staff of instructors will help take your baton twirling skills to the next level.
SNK, painting your house today. SNK.
SNK Painting provides exceptional painting and refinishing services to the Mahoning Valley and surrounding communities by being an industry leader in our field, focusing on customer service and delivering extraordinary results. We offer interior and exterior painting and specialize in cabinet refinishing with affordable cabinet solutions. Call SNK Painting for your free estimate at 330-505-1910.
SNK, painting your house today.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets, and they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops. The rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit TuneIn2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The Storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go. Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What? Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this. To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. Cool. Very cool. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You're listening to
Western Reserve Radio at westernreserveradio.com on the Live 365 network and the Live 365 app.
We're back, and that will do it for this episode of the Dump and Chase podcast. So next week, we will be recapping this split weekend in Madison and Chicago, and we will be previewing a 3-game home weekend with Sioux Falls coming to the Covelli Center for 2 games, and then Madison coming to the Covelli Center for 1 game. As always, you can hear this show every Wednesday at 5:06 on Western Reserve Radio, either on westernreserveradio.com, the Live 365 or TuneIn apps, the Western Reserve Radio Facebook and Twitter pages, and of course, the Youngstown Phantoms Facebook page. You can catch this show in podcast form, either on Apple, Spotify, Google, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can find us on social media on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and of course, our website at dumpandchasepod.com. So usually at this point, this is where I ask for final words of wisdom, and I get very angry looks from these two every time I do it. So it was always a Justin tradition, and Dan's joined in on it since he's come along. So what I thought I'd do, I did this a few times last season, just a couple random numbers here that I came across when getting ready for the show. There seemed to be this pattern of some low shot totals this past weekend that kind of caught my eye. Cedar Rapids losing to Fargo on Friday. Cedar Rapids only had 15 shots on goal. Dubuque on Saturday losing to Fargo, so good week defensively for Fargo. Dubuque losing that game, only 16 shots on goal, and I thought, well, that's pretty low. Until I looked at the numbers for the NTDP U17s. Their loss on Saturday to Sioux City, they only had 13 shots on goal. That is 1 more shot on goal than we scored goals against them in the home opener.
Well, I mean, shots on goal aren't everything, but, you don't get shots on goal. It's really hard to score.
Miss every shot you don't take.
Yeah, if you score 12 goals on those 13 shots, then the shots on goal stat really doesn't matter, but...
You don't see that too often.
No.
So.
All right. So for my co-hosts, Justin Irwin and Dan Conley, I'm Sam Olmstead. So closing out the ice-filled adventures with sticks, pucks, and all the hockey glory, it's time to hang up our skates and wrap up another thrilling episode of the Dump and Chase podcast. We've dissected plays, celebrated goals, and navigated the penalty box of hockey banter. Oh boy, is that true. Before we hit the bench, a big shout out to our listeners. As always, you are the true MVPs of this podcast. Whether you're a diehard fan or just lacing up your interest in hockey, we appreciate you tuning in. So until next time, hockey enthusiasts, keep your skates sharp, your goals high, and may your favorite team always bring home the cup. So again, thank you for tuning in here to the Dump and Chase podcast, where the puck drops and the conversation never melts away. Stay frosty, folks.
You smile more reading that than anything else you do.
I was going to say the conversation never melts away. I think we had a few meltdowns.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
With over 30 years of experience, Madurix Butcher Block in Mineral Ridge is a quality-driven company focused on great personal service. Our fresh meats are of the finest cut. We make a variety of burgers, sausages, and a full line of deli meats. Using our own smokehouse, we prepare different types of jerky, snack sticks, kibasi, bacon, hot dogs, and bone-in hams. When your tummy needs some relief, call 652-BEEF. That's 330-652-2333.
If you are seeking a skilled photographer in Northeast Ohio with experience in capturing documentary-style photographs for various occasions such as family events, weddings, graduations, sporting events, and other special occasions, look no further than Colleen Moore Photography. Accessible via ColleenMoorePhotography.com, or she can be reached at 330-314-7547.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open. Don't speak with your mouth full. Keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit TuneIn2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say
Hi, it's Mark Means, host of By All Means, Tuesdays at 5, right here on Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on Western Reserve Radio.
High slot in the Tampa zone. He'll leave it. Dylan Cousins trying to create a lane with a shot. Scores! The workhorse from Whitehorse in overtime. And the Sabres win it.
We call on Sabres Radio 3-2, the win over the Lightning on Tuesday. Dylan Cousins scored $146 in overtime. Rookie Devin Levi made 21 saves in net after beginning the season with 2 losses. First win of the season. It's the first win of the season for the Sabres. They are 1-2-0. On the schedule tonight, the Penguins visit the Red Wings. Detroit shut out the Blue Jackets 4-0 on Monday night. The Penguins coming off Saturday's 5-2 home win over the Flames. Both teams have won 2 in a row. Both are 2-1-0. The Blue Jackets are off till Friday when they host the Flames. Columbus 1-2-0 on the season. For lightning fast updates, download the Score app. It's free and one of North America's most popular sports apps. That's the Sports Flash. Chuck Sanders, Western Reserve Radio.
Meet Bruce.
Hey there.
He's a busy soccer dad who's trying hard to learn the game.
Go for the end zone.
Whoops. Luckily, other things come easy, like banking with Chase. On a tip from his banker, he set up autosave in the Chase mobile app. So what are you saving for, Bruce?
Father-daughter soccer camp.
Smart bankers, convenient tools. One bank with the power of both. Visit